In my quest for revenge, I became an unexpected player in a game of seduction. The lines between right and wrong began to blur as I used temptation as a tool for revenge. This chapter explores the complexities of desire and manipulation, revealing how my plan to ensnare Clara took an unexpectedly steamy turn. It's a tale of passion, betrayal, and the lengths one will go to for retribution. Chapter 3. Erotic Revenge. Husband's tempting trap for cheating wife. The game of revenge, I'd learned, was like walking a tightrope. One wrong step, and everything could come crashing down. But I was determined. I had to be. This wasn't just about getting even anymore. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my self-respect. And so I continued to weave my web, setting the stage for the ultimate trap. I started to change things up a bit with Clara. I became more adventurous, more spontaneous. I'd surprise her with weekend getaways, romantic dinners at fancy restaurants, and gifts that I knew would catch her off guard. I could see the confusion in her eyes, mixed with a flicker of guilt. She was struggling to keep up with this new version of me, this man who was both familiar and yet so different. But the real twist came when I suggested we try something new in the bedroom, something daring, something we'd never done before. I could see the shock on Clara's face, but there was also curiosity, a hint of excitement. She agreed, hesitantly at first, but then with more enthusiasm as I described my plans. I had everything set up perfectly. The mood lighting, the music, the silk sheets. It was like a scene from one of those steamy romance novels Clara loved to read. I watched her as she entered the room, her eyes taking in every detail. She looked stunning, and for a moment I remembered all the reasons I had fallen in love with her. But this wasn't about love. Not anymore. It was about power, about control. I wanted her to feel vulnerable, to feel the same sense of uncertainty that I'd been living with since discovering her affair. As the night progressed, I could see Clara losing herself in the moment. She was responding to me in ways she hadn't in years. It was exhilarating, intoxicating. But beneath it all, there was a cold, calculated purpose. I was leading her down a path that would ultimately lead to her undoing. I introduced a blindfold, telling her it would heighten her senses. She hesitated, but then allowed me to tie it gently around her eyes. I watched her, her chest rising and falling with each breath, completely at my mercy. It was a powerful feeling, but also a dangerous one. I had to remind myself to stay focused, to remember why I was doing this. I whispered in her ear, telling her to let go, to trust me. And she did. She surrendered to the experience, to the sensations I was creating. I had her exactly where I wanted her. But then, something unexpected happened. As I watched her, lost in the throes of passion, I felt a pang of guilt, a twinge of regret. This was Clara, the woman I had vowed to love and cherish, the woman who had been my partner, my confidant. What had we become? I shook the thoughts away. This was no time for sentimentality. I had a plan to execute, a point to prove. I continued, pushing the boundaries, taking her to the edge, and then pulling her back. It was a dance, a dangerous, seductive dance. And then, at the height of it all, I stopped. I removed the blindfold and looked into her eyes. There was confusion there, a sense of loss. I told her I needed a moment, that I would be right back. I left her there, alone in the darkness, waiting. I went downstairs, my mind racing. This was it, the moment of truth. I had set the trap, and now it was time to spring it. I picked up my phone and dialed Alex's number. It was time to bring him into the game. "Alex, mate," I said when he answered. "I need to see you. Now. It's about Clara." There was a pause, and then a hesitant reply. "All right, Jonathan. I'll be right over." I hung up the phone and went back upstairs. Clara was still there, waiting. I told her I had a surprise for her, something that would change everything. And as I heard Alex's car pull into the driveway, I knew that everything was about to come crashing down. The trap was set, and there was no turning back now.